Hello. So, time for the weekly check in. I'm a little late because I had a long weekend with Dan and the kids and I didn't want to miss a minute of it. So, Dan and the kids left a little while ago. So, now I'm checking in. This week's weigh in, 3 more pounds lost. Better than last week's 2, so I'm happy. Brings my new total to 73 pounds lost. So, that I'm happy about. It was a busy week with doctors, this being healthy thing, so I started Monday morning with blood tests and gynecologists and finished the week with a bit of a follow-up because during my weight loss surgery, the surgeon spotted a mass on my left kidney. And so they called me into internal medicine and I spent the day there with them on Friday. And they checked me out top to bottom. The last step of the checkout is, as of this morning, when I get up, until tomorrow morning, I have to collect all my pee. Such a joy. In a jug, in the fridge. Anyway, I'm collecting all my pee tonight at 11 o'clock at night, exactly at 11 p.m. I was told very exactly. I have to take a pill with food, so I have to wake up in the middle of my night's sleep to take a pill with food and continue collecting my pee until tomorrow morning. And then I have to go tomorrow morning by 8 o'clock to the hospital, and I will hand them in my jug of pee, and they will do more blood tests. But suffice it to say, after checking me out top to bottom and asking me about the weirdest symptoms, like have you got extra hair growing? Do your shoulders hurt? Are you itchy? Strangest things. Who knew? Anyway, I don't have any symptoms that seem to warrant danger. I already have thyroid cancer, so the doctor said flat out the likelihood of you developing a whole second type of cancer is pretty slim. And the kidneys is not a place where the thyroid cancer metastasizes. So tomorrow morning after my blood tests and my turning in my pee jug, barring anything unforeseen in the last battery of tests, no news will be good news and everything should be fine. It was a bit nerve-wracking before I went Friday, so hence why I didn't talk about it. I had only talked about it with Dan and Uncle John and made sure that they knew. But my growth in my kidney appears to be okay and not anything to worry about. So it is what it is. But it did make last week a little bit stressful. The best part of last week was Wednesday night. I went to my first monthly meeting with my online support group for weight loss surgery. That was beyond cool. I got to see people in person. It was really nifty to get to meet people and have some conversations, some one-on-ones. Got to hear great stories. The person who leads the meeting, Jennifer, she's awesome. And she gave me great perspective and things to think about. How, she ended up going back down the hill 12 years into her journey. So it reminds me to always be vigilant. And I like that. I thought it was a good lesson to learn being such a newbie. I've only just finished 9 weeks out. And, when someone with 13 years experience is talking, when I'm 9 weeks experience, I listen. So that was really interesting and really interesting to hear all the stories. I gotta say, though, at one point during the meeting, I felt a little guilty. I really did. I felt guilty. Because I was talking with someone who was telling me that there they are 3 years out and they still can't digest chicken or meat, and I can. I guess I'm lucky. So far, the only thing that really gives me a hard time is margarine. And I've discovered Gertrude doesn't like soft egg yolk. Like if I lightly fry an egg, and I usually like to do it over easy, but have the egg yolk be soft. It's not that I don't digest it, it's that it's not happiness, we'll say. I don't feel all full of vim and vigor. It's kind of like, Gertrude is, working on it, It's So stay away from the soft egg yolk. I can live. I prefer hard-boiled eggs anyway, so why not, If the worst thing I have to say about my journey so far is margarine and soft egg yolk, I think there's a lot of people in the online support group who would, if I complained, smack me in my head, deservedly so. And I think pretty much everyone would say I am damned lucky and happy about it. So, good week all in all. good weight loss, still on track, still doing everything I'm doing. Oh, and I tried a really cool recipe. It's a faux potato salad. Basically, you use cauliflower instead of potatoes. And then I made it the way I would normally make a potato salad, except I used low-fat mayo and a bit of Pommery mustard seed and a bit of Dijon mustard and some chopped up, very finely chopped up celery and some chopped up pickle and some chopped up hard-boiled eggs. And just totally lovely. I really dug it. Now, if you put it in your mouth expecting potato salad, it's not the same. I tried to pass it off on the kids as potato salad. They wouldn't even try it. No. They took one look at it. But Dan, God love him, he tries everything that I make, and he even had seconds. And he even had it again the next day. He kind of liked it. No, it's not a replacement for potato salad. If you're looking for a big, giant mouthful of mushy potato, it does not replace it. But it is damn yummy, and it has all the similar flavors. So if you out there are craving potato salad, make it with cauliflower. You boil up the cauliflower, you mash it lightly, and then just mix it like with everything else that you would normally put in potato salad. And believe me, you'll dig it. It's really good. The other thing I did, because it was Uncle John's birthday we were celebrating. So we barbecued steaks, and Dan barbecued sausages and hot dogs for the kids. And so I made the faux potato salad. And my mom used to make this salad that Uncle John loved, chicken Dijon pasta salad. So it's cut up cooked chicken breast, green onions, pasta, and basically it's some mayo and some Dijon, salt and pepper. That's it. It's very simple, but it's a really lovely flavor. And I wanted to be able to have a little bit, and I wanted it to be less guilty. So I had got myself some protein pasta, like a full pot, like if you made a family's worth, is 40 grams of protein for 400 calories. It's right up our alley, right? The whole times 10 for the protein. So I got to have a little guilt-free. I had 1 spoon of it, but still, I didn't want to waste my stomach space on pasta, whether it had protein or not. I put steak in there, cut up really small and chewed really well. And 1 steak turns into like 5 meals for me, but still, it was yummy as all hell. But I got to make one of my mom's old recipes, and my mom passed away 2.5 years ago, and she was a chef. And there are certain recipes that she used to make that we all loved, and I haven't really been into making them yet. And I'm starting new things. The other thing I made for the first time is I made a peach pie. I made a pie. Now, when I say I made a pie, I totally cheated. I bought the pre-made crust, and I bought canned peaches, because obviously there are no fresh peaches, but I got canned peaches in water instead of in juice or in syrup. And it's a really cool recipe. So sliced peaches, mix in some lemon juice so that they get a little tartness, and then nutmeg, cinnamon. Instead of sugar, I used Splenda. I don't have a sweet tooth, but on the rare occasion I'm going to make something for the family. In the end, I didn't have any of the pie. I tasted 1 bite just to taste what my pie turned out to be, but it was basically for Uncle John and for Dan. It was the dessert Uncle John wanted for his birthday. But even though I wasn't going to eat any, I was going to try to make it as friendly as possible. So I used Splenda instead of sugar, a little bit of flour for thickening. And it turned out great. My very first pie. It was beautiful. It was tasty. Everybody loved it. So, well, everybody. Only Uncle John and Dan ate it. The kids didn't want it either. So, yeah, but pretty good. So, all in all, successful. Spent a lot of time cooking on Saturday. And then Sunday, thanks to Dan, first we went shopping on Saturday. Bought a whole bunch of flowers and veggies for the garden. And my version of a garden is we have a lot of these big pots. And that's another thing. My mom's 2 favorite things in the world were cooking and gardening. And this is the first summer since she died that I was ready to have the garden not be a sad place for me anymore. So we planted, and it's fun because it's part veg and part flowers. So each of the kids picked out 2 different flowers. I let them pick out whatever they wanted. And Dan picked out a flower, and I picked out things that reminded me of Mummy and that I like. And veggies, we have a tomato plant. We have zucchini and cucumber. We planted cantaloupe seeds. We have a strawberry that I've planted with chives. There was something else we planted. I could have sworn. Maybe I forgot. Oh, and an asparagus, but it's a baby plant this big. It'll be a couple of years before I get to actually eat in the asparagus. But we planted asparagus in the yard because that doesn't go in a pot. That needs to grow for a couple of years before we can eat that sucker. And and some mixed lettuce, 4 different kinds of lettuce. So that's cool. So I have veggies coming. Oh, and green beans and yellow beans. So I really love the idea of being able to go out onto the patio and pick veg that'll be warm from the sun. When's the last time you ate a sun-ripened warm tomato? How awesome is that? Well, I'll let you know as soon as I eat it. Right now, it's a plant. It's big. So all in all, good week. Like I said, 3 pounds lost. New total is 73 pounds. Good job sticking with my program. Oh, I also remembered some more of Jennifer's advice. A few people mentioned the 80-20 thing. Well, when Dan and the kids are not here on the weekend, it's a 100-100 thing. I try not to veer off in any way. I don't eat bread. I don't eat anything. I do have protein bread, but still, I try to stay away from the starches because, as I've mentioned before, I am a starch junkie. But Dan and the kids were here this weekend, so a couple of my meals were a little... I had some sausage. I had a piece of regular toast this morning, not even my protein bread. So a little off the rails on the weekend, but still stayed within my calories, stayed within my protein. It was just basically, again, like I said, I don't have a sweet tooth, so it was higher in carbs and fat than would normally be. But Dan and the kids are only back in 2 weeks, so it'll be 2 solid weeks of 100%. So it's 80-20 when I'm with the family and 100-100 when I'm alone. And that's about it. That's the end of the check-in. So today is the beginning of week 10, and it's awesome. Have a wonderful week, everyone.